What's going on, everyone? Talen here, and welcome to another Marvel Future Fight video. Alright, so in this one here, I wanted to take a closer look at Apocalypse, our new Tier 3 that we're going to be getting, and seeing how much of an upgrade he's getting with his uniform and with his Tier 3. But before we jump into that, I'll let you know that we are still on the pre-update version of the game. This is still the APK, so it is still subject to change. So what you see here might vary a little bit from what you get in the live server in terms of maybe the damage, the values, or any of those kind of things. And also, this video is brought to you by Netmarble and the Star Agents program. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into Apocalypse here and see what's changed. So go over to the skills here and take a look at the Tier 3 and see what it actually gives him. So his Tier 3 skill is going to have Paralysis, 3 seconds, Stun, 3 seconds, it's going to Burn, and then he's got an 80% chance to penetrate Super Armor Barrier, Shield, All Damage Immune, and Invincibility. So he pretty much will penetrate everything with the Tier 3 skill here. And it does increase damage by 100% for one attack. So for the Tier 3 skill, he will get a 100% attack boost. So even if you're building him for like PvP and you've got like a regen on him or an authority or something like that, he'll still get a damage boost when using the Tier 3 skill. And it is still energy damage. And it looks like with this uniform, everything is going to be energy damage. As we can see here, they're all tagged by energy damage, so it looks like he's not going to have that variation of having one skill that you can use as a physical damage skill with his base kit. So yeah, that's what he's looking like there. The Isolate said I have Power the Angry Hulk on him because he does get a 20% increase to ignore defense from the uniform. So I didn't need to, from the uniform, so I didn't need to roll ignore defense on his 4th gear, on his gears over here. Whoops. So I was able to put that to skill cooldown, so that's why I didn't have to roll Hawk's Eye for him. And then for the CTP here, we have a CTP of Energy is what I've been trying him out with currently. So I haven't really tried him out with any other options as of right now, but we will try him with a CTP of Rage a little bit later in the video. I kept the CTP of Energy on him for the initial testing because I just wanted to compare him against another character that we know is another, heavy hitter. So I was trying him out against Sharon Rogers to see how they compare when doing a World Boss Ultimate here. So I was trying out against Cult Obsidian and then also Thanos. We don't have very many of the stages unlocked for Thanos. 15 is the highest we can go. So it wasn't a really good test, but I was able to get some information from that. So if we hop over here first to Cult Obsidian, the team I was using was just this one right here, just to get a test going. But first we can show kind of a baseline of Sharon Rogers, and Sharon Rogers also has a CTP of Energy on her. It is the same thing, a 200% damage proc, so a fully maxed out CTP of Energy. And yeah, we can get a kind of comparison here between the two. So let's just see what Sharon does here in the first minutes of the fight. Go ahead and switch over. Let's get that. Oh, well, we didn't proc on the 5th skill, so I tried to get it on the 4th. We completely whiffed with the with the 4th skill. Fantastic. There we go. That was a little bit better in terms of damage. I've done this a few times on my own, so I kind of know what to expect here. And we are going to be using the Tier 3 skill, just throwing it into the mix. Alright. So we'll completely miss that one again. So we're missing a lot of skills here, which is kind of annoying. But we might still get to where I normally get, which is kind of interesting. Because I usually get to about 12.5 bars, and it looks like we're about there again. Oh. Yeah, I probably could have got a little bit better. Some of my other tests were just as slow. But yeah, 12.5 or maybe the bottom of the 12th bar is usually where I see Sharon getting in stage 41 here without any strikers with this team. So let's go ahead and load up Apocalypse, and then we can see how he can compare to Sharon in terms of the damage. So here we go. Let's load that up and take a look here. All right, so Apocalypse was a little bit slower. I will say that right off the bat. But I think that's just because his all defense down doesn't really stick very often to Cult Obsidian here. So I was kind of throwing off his numbers a little bit. Let's try to get through here. Oh, I think we just missed that. But as you can see, Apocalypse does charge up his tier 3 skill faster. It just happens to be like right in an awkward place of my skill rotation, so I can never use it immediately. And I like to use it when I have the 4th skill available. And here we go, get that damage in. Don't know if I hit that. I think we've missed 2 procs so far with Apocalypse here, so we might have to just restart this, but let's just, yeah, we just missed another one here. You know what, let's just restart this, give them a little bit better showing, because that was pretty bad. So one more go here. Let's try this again. All right, Apocalypse, I need you to proc your CTP consistently for me so I can get a good showing here and a good baseline for everyone. All right, here we go. All right, there we go. Got a proc going off there. That was pretty good. There we go. Got another pretty good proc going on there. Oh, no. Yeah, I know we messed that one up. All right, let's just wait for that to cycle around a little bit here. All right, we'll get our buff, and then we'll just go into the tier 3 skill here. So we don't have the all defense down from the 4th skill, but Cold Obsidian usually just shrugs that off anyway, so hopefully it's not going to be that big of a deal. All right, here we go. As you can see, quite a bit slower. I think he kind of relies a little bit too much on the all defense down from the 4th skill to get a lot of his damage with this uniform. We get another tier 3 here, but he does charge up the tier 3 faster. It's just because I'm trying to be consistent with rotation and just use it in place of the 5th skill. It is throwing off the timing a little bit, so we'll just stop it there. We'll say it was like 14.5 bars, and that's pretty consistent with what I was seeing before. He's usually 2 bars slower than Sharon, so he's like, you know, 30% slower, 25% slower than Sharon Rogers in terms of just kind of like raw damage here. But when I was trying out Thanos, where we don't really have to worry about the defenses, the resistances, whoops, go back here, or the shrugging off of the all defense down, I found them to be a lot more similar in terms of the damage, or in terms of the time, I guess. So let's just load up here at stage 15. We can get a quick idea of what I'm talking about here. And we will try Apocalypse with ACTP of Rage after this, just to see if he takes more advantage of that. Let's go ahead, go boom. Sharon is just not triggering the damage proc on the 5th skill. That's usually where I like to proc it. I mean, the 4th skill, of course, still does amazing damage, but it usually procs at the very start of the 5th skill for me, kind of like that. And then I just do... Okay, we're doing another one of these. And then I just do one of those, and then I would normally be using the, I think this will push him over anyway. Yeah, there we go. So Sharon Rogers definitely still does a lot more damage with her tier 3 skill than Apocalypse, but I was seeing about 30 seconds. It usually took 30 seconds to get Thanos to this cutscene here, where he does his first kind of summon or calling in his support there from the Black Order. So let's go ahead and load up Apocalypse here, and we'll see that we get pretty much the exact same time. So when we can apply the all defense down, I found Apocalypse is pretty much at the same level as Sharon Rogers, but Sharon doesn't really rely on that all defense down, which makes, you know, her a little more appealing, but Apocalypse is still getting the job done. So let's go ahead and load him in here and see if we get any kind of proc there going. There we go. Run away from those blade twisters, let him do his thing here. And then we're just going to, oh, did we hit that? Yeah, I think we hit that. That looks like damage from a CTP of energy there. And then we'll do this, and then we should get him to the face change. Or at least pretty close to it. Yeah, about 30 seconds in, so he should be face changing now. So like I said, pretty much exactly the same, but now I'm curious to see how Apocalypse will do with ACTP of Rage, because I have actually not tried him with ACTP of Rage yet, so this will be my very first time seeing it and my first impressions. But with ACTP of Energy, if the boss can have all defense down on them, he seems just as good as Sharon. If not, he still has enough raw damage that I would say he could get through the stage, but he's not really at the same level as some of our other top DPSs, so he's looking like he might be a little bit lower on the stack in terms of tier 3s, but he is a villain, he is combat, so he does have that going for him, except that Namor is kind of filling that slot right now, so I don't see him being better than Namor. He has probably better survivability than Namor, but I don't think he has more damage. But anyway, let's go ahead and hop over to some gameplay with the CTP of Rage equipped. Alright, so it is CTP of Rage time, so let's see if I'm going to be impressed with Apocalypse here, or if he's going to do just as well with a CTP of Energy. We're going against Cole Obsidian here, just because he's the higher stage, so we'll be able to see more effectively what the change in damage will actually look like. So far, that didn't look too good for that first proc. Well, we'll see after a minute what he looks like here. Pop that tier 3 skill and see what that looks like. Okay, not bad. Don't know what I was really expecting to see here, but I feel like this is a little bit less than I was expecting to see. He is definitely doing better, so there's that. Actually, you know what? Let's just try to get that tier 3 in. Oh, we got most of the tier 3 in. Okay, cool. That. Rock it up again. Or activate, I guess, the CTP of Rage, since it does stay active for the entire time. Do that. CTP of Rage. There we go. Pop the tier 3. And that's pretty much the same, isn't it? Okay, so yeah, the CTP of Rage didn't really seem to make a difference for Apocalypse here. I was hoping to see a little bit more than that. I mean, it'll probably make more of a difference in like GBR or something like that, but it doesn't seem to have really helped too much against Cole Obsidian here. Let's hop back over to Thanos then, maybe. So let's try this again, see if we get some kind of crazy damage and he'll just go through in like 10 seconds or something like that. But it's looking like Apocalypse is not really benefiting too much from ACTP of Rage. It's looking like ACTP of Energy is going to be just as good on him as ACTP of Rage, so actually very similar to Sharon Rogers. Let's find out here. Alright, let's try to get this Rage activated. There we go. Ooh, okay. Okay, that's looking good. Thanos, you need to, oh, I didn't test to see if Apocalypse's tier 3 ignores iframe. Does it? Ooh, it looks like it. He's in iframe right now. Yeah, I think it does. I think I procced that a little early. Yeah, there's the there's the Rage, or I used it a little early. I mean, again, about 30 seconds in. So I don't really know what to make about this. It looks like CTP of Rage isn't really going to be that much better for him than the CTP of Energy. I was expecting to see actually a bigger difference here, if I'm being honest. I was expecting Apocalypse to benefit quite a bit from the CTP of Rage, but it doesn't appear to be the case. So you can get away with putting a regular damage proc on him if you just have, you know, some good Ovilus laying around, 200% procs with some crit rates or some ignore dodge on them. If you have a CTP of Energy, it looks like that's probably going to be one of the best options in terms of CTPs for him with this new uniform here, but that's just kind of what I'm getting as first impressions here. But again, keep in mind this is still the test server, so it's still subject to change. There could still be changes to Apocalypse here and stuff like that, which could make maybe a CTP of Rage better, I don't know. But as of right now, you can just not worry about putting a CTP of Rage on him. At least that's what I'm gathering from this so far, but we'll do one more kind of quick run here, just spamming through all the skills, kind of like what you'd normally do with a Rage on him. Alright, there we go. Pop that. Okay. This one's going to be slower because I actually haven't been lining up the Rage with any of his damaging skills, which is, I would think, pretty hard to do, but I've managed to do it somehow. Alright. So here we go. We're going to get to 14 and a half. Come on. Rage, activate. Just about. But yeah, it's still pretty much the same as with the CTP of Energy. So yeah, I don't know I don't know what to make about that. It looks like CTP of Rage, not as good as I was expecting. CTP of Energy, looking like a very good option here. But yeah, let me know your thoughts about Apocalypse here. If you've seen maybe some of the other star agents using the Rage and you're a little more impressed with it, or if you're kind of getting similar vibes here from my video, because my conclusion, stick with the CTP of Energy. You don't need to really waste a CTP of Rage on him. You can give that to some of the other candidates that take more advantage of the CTP of Rage. Anyway, that was a closer look at Apocalypse here as Tier 3, his new uniform. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and that's going to be it for this video. So of course I will catch you in the next one.